Hi, this is about protein, muscle formation, and health. It is from the scientist which is called Donald Layman, Donald D-O-N-A-L-D, Layman L-A-Y-M-A-N. And he has a website which is called metabolictransformation.com. He said he's not very good in social media. But anyway, he did research on rodents or mice for 40 years about the protein. And he found in his lab mTOR, which is the stimulus for growth and anabolism, meaning building up in the cell, as well as, which is called mTOR pathway in the cell, as well as he discovered that the stimulus for formation of protein in the muscle, which is muscle protein, is called leucine, L-E-U-C-I-N, and it is one of the branched amino acid, which is leucine as a leucine and valine. The amino acids are 21 in numbers, 9 are essential. They are called essential because we need to eat them in the food we eat. The body cannot produce them. But the other 11 amino acids, which are called non-essential, they are called non-essential because we don't need to eat them and the body make them. They are very essential. The body make them. But it is called in medicine non-essential. And one, it is called conditional amino acid, which is produced according to the circumstances. Proteins, he thinks, we should not decide about it in percentage of the total calories we eat, as the American guideline do. For example, if they say 30% protein should be of all calories, he said this is wrong. Because if a man, athlete, and he take 4,000 calories, he will take 4 times the protein of a woman, elderly, small in size, take 1,000 calories per day, or calories per day. So he thinks that the protein, they are so important that we should decide in grams, because people will remember protein. For example, if you ask them what did they eat, they will remember 2 eggs, 3 eggs, or how big is the piece of meat. They remember the protein. So it should be in grams. And also the amino acids, the essential amino acid, also in grams. For leucine, he thinks it is 2.5 to 3.5 gram per day. And the most important time to eat the protein is the first meal in the day, not necessarily breakfast, but when we break our fast, even if you eat at 11. This is the first meal after fasting in the night. And also he thinks we should divide it, because he thinks we need at least 100 grams per day or 120 grams per day, depending on the size of the person and depend on the physical activities and the exercises we do. The more exercises we do, the more protein we need. So 30 grams to 50 grams per meal. We divide it into 2 meals, because if we eat more than this, it will be wasted and it will be oxidized and excreted or changed into sugar in the liver. So there is a threshold, or there is a limit for how much protein we eat in one meal. In young people and teenager, up to the age of 20, the stimulus for muscle making is the hormones. For example, male hormone, which is called testosterone, or female hormone, estrogen. It is not the protein. But after the age of 20, the protein become important. And the older we become, the more important is the protein. And how to make muscles? 75% of stimulation of making muscle is due to resistant exercises and training. 25% is due to eating protein. So even if you eat a large quantity of protein, it will not make muscle unless you do exercises. Okay? And also he gave example about carbohydrate. Carbohydrate should be 40 to 50 grams. But if you eat 300 grams in a meal, you should do 3 hours severe workout to burn it. Yes. Because if you don't do and choose to be sedentary or no exercises, then it will be stored as fat. Too much protein and too much fat and too much carbohydrate and too much refined carbohydrate like in grains, wheat, refined wheat, corn, and soya, it will be not healthy. The wheat, he thinks, it is deficient in the essential amino acid like leucine, isoleucine, threonine, and tryptophan, which is essential for making serotonin, which is important for relaxation and depression. And the amount of amino acid, he thinks we should take it in grams. And it is how often, it depends on the type of the amino acid. For example, isoleucine, once a day is enough because it is slow in metabolism. But leucine, we have to take it at least twice a day in amount 2.5 to 3.5 grams. So he is very deep in protein and in amino acids. And he said we cannot do clinical trial on human because it is very difficult to control their diet for a long period of time or all their lives. For example, for 20 years, he said nobody can do this experiment. But in the animals, rodent, they could watch them all their life, which is shorter than human life. So these points are important, which is the importance of exercises. He said he is in his 70s, he take 120 grams of protein per day, but he do 3 times per week tennis for 1 hour, and he does 40 to 45 minutes of resistant exercises before the tennis session or after the tennis session. Also, he like running, but sometimes he will do cycling and other physical activities. So, if you choose to eat less protein, you have to decide to do more exercises. You could have muscle by just doing exercises all day long. Also, after 60, it is very important the protein because we all lose muscle with age. From the age of 35 years old, we lose about 8% in every 10 years. But if we do exercises and eat protein enough, it will be only 3% we lose muscle or lean body mass. And the amount he advised is 1.2 gram per kg ideal body weight up to 1.8 gram per kg or kilogram of your ideal body weight. And ideal body weight is your weight minus 100. You measure your height in centimeter. If you are 180, then minus 100, your weight should be 80. This is the ideal body weight in kilogram. But if your weight is 120 kilogram, then you should not take a protein according to this weight. Always measure your ideal body weight by measuring your height minus 100 or measuring your waist, and then also measure your height. And half your height should be, you compare it with the waist diameter around the umbilicus, and the umbilicus should be equal or less than half your height. And how to measure your height is by putting your back against the wall and the highest point on the head, and then you measure it with a measure in centimeter. The important point is leucine is the most important essential amino acid to stimulate muscle making. And also mTOR. mTOR is a pathway in the cell which stimulates growth and making protein in the muscle. But mTOR regulation different in different tissue. For example, mTOR in the liver, it will be regulated by insulin hormone. Also, mTOR in tumor cells or cancer, it is regulated by insulin hormone. But mTOR in the muscle, it is regulated by the essential amino acid leucine. And this is very important to differentiate between tissues, because our biology is complex and complicated. He also prefers animal protein, not plant protein. This is because the plant protein which is eaten in the United States is bad, like potato fries, pizza, which is wheat, and wheat is deficient of essential amino acids. Refined grains. He doesn't like refined grains. He's not against the plants. On the contrary, he advised to eat vegetables all in natural way. But he is against the processed grains, like processed corn, and GMO corn, and processed soya. So he said we should take protein in grams, and we should know exactly how much we take per day, because it is very important for our health to make muscle, and muscle are essential for our health and our health span, how to live healthy, and for our longevity, and not to be disabled. I hope these points are clear, and there is a lot of discussion about it. Please subscribe to my channel and give it to your friends, and this will make me happy and make me make more videos to help you. Thank you. Bye bye.